Hello and welcome to the session on Approaches to Education, Naturalism. Philosophy is the mother of all sciences and arts, including education. Therefore, the study of philosophy is necessary to discern the nature of education. Educational philosophy is the cornerstone of the foundation of education. It is the general branch of philosophy that answers educational questions of why to educate, whom to educate, who to educate, where to educate, what to educate, how to educate, when to educate, and so on. Educational philosophy is the study of all those aspects or school of philosophy which are important from educational point of view. It includes areas such as aims of education, curriculum, methods, child, teacher, textbooks, school, evaluation, discipline, administration, supervision, etc. There are four main approaches to education. They are idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, and realism. Each of these philosophies analyzes and interprets the different aspects of education in its own way. In the history of philosophy of education, naturalism is as old as idealism. It is the oldest philosophy in the Western world and is the materialistic philosophy which has been playing an important role in the field of education. Naturalism, like other isms, started in ancient Greece and ancient India. Democritus 460 BC and Leucippus 793 to 57 BC were prominent naturalists in ancient Greece. In ancient India, the philosophers known as Charvakas were naturalists. From the 16th to 18th century, the most important naturalist thinkers were Rousseau 1712 to 1788, Bacon from 1561 to 1626, and Hobbes from 1588 to 1903. In the contemporary times, the well-known naturalist is Herbert Spencer from 1820 to 1903. Naturalism is a type of philosophy which takes nature as the whole of reality. According to naturalism, the material and the physical world is the only real world. Naturalism is also known as materialism on the basis of the premise that the universe is matter. All things have originated from matter and all are ultimately to be reduced to that. Matter is the stuff with which the universe is built of. It believes that reality and nature are identical and that beyond nature there is no reality. It denies the existence of anything that is beyond nature, behind nature, and other than nature. According to this philosophy, the whole universe is governed by laws of nature and they are changeable. Naturalism has regard for the observable facts, for realities, and for actual situations of life. It is a distinct philosophy that does not believe in sentimentalism, spiritualism, and supernaturalism. According to naturalism, moral instinct, innate conscience, miracles, otherworld, power of prayer, freedom of will are illusions and there is no absolute good or evil in the world. Naturalism believes that mind is an accident in the process of evolution and it can be explained in terms of matter. Mind is the function of brain which is material in nature and not the source of knowledge. Values of life according to this philosophy are created by the human needs. Nature according to this philosophy is a self-sufficient entity and contains its cause within itself. It is self-determined and has been created and is moved by natural forces only. Naturalism lays emphasis on the nature in every field of education. Thus, naturalist philosophers derive the aims and ideals, the means, the methods of teaching, and principles of curriculum and school management from the nature. This philosophy does not believe in the existence of God. So, the philosophy of naturalism is atheistic. In epistemology, the naturalists are empiricists. They believe that knowledge is acquired through sense organs and with the help of brain. They do not accept the rationalist position that all knowledge is innate. Naturalists believe that nature alone contains the normal and final answers to all philosophical problems pertaining to education. The term nature in naturalism stands for the totality of objects and events in space and time. Naturalism applies natural laws to the entire gamut of human experience, material, rational or spiritual. Science is the source of all knowledge. Scientific exploration is the method of studying nature which is beautiful. For naturalists, man is basically an offspring of nature and not the segment of society. They do not agree with the pragmatists who say that man is a social animal. Different forms of naturalism. Naturalism is interpreted in many ways. The forms of naturalism have a great bearing on the theory and practice of education. The naturalists have propounded 4 forms of naturalism, and they are: atomistic naturalism. This is the oldest form of naturalism. Epicurus and Democritus were the chief exponents of this form. The most ancient form of naturalism was presented by Democritus 460 to 360 BC in the form of atomistic naturalism. He stated that heavy atoms fall more quickly than the lighter ones and begin to unite with each other on the way. This materialistic explanation of the world was the ground of naturalism in education. This theory was later amended by Epicurus 341 BC to 270 BC. This atomistic naturalism was the foundation for naturalism in the West, but it is not the basis for modern naturalism as a philosophy of education. Scientific naturalism. This type of philosophy came into existence in the period during which scientific experiments were going on a fast speed. According to this form of naturalism, nature has been created by this energy. Scientific naturalism is totally against the philosophy of atomic naturalism. Scientific naturalism is further divided into 2. Physical naturalism. The physical naturalism is related to external nature and it discusses the world in terms of matter. This principle seeks to explain human actions, individual experiences, emotions and feelings on the basis of physical sciences. Physical naturalism attaches greater importance to the external materials than the conscious human being. Biological naturalism. This philosophy is based on the evolution theory of Darwin and emphasized that man is the supreme product of the process of evolution. Biological naturalism believes that the nature and the process of the universe cannot be wholly explained in terms of physical science or mechanical operation. Biological naturalism emphasizes the development of man's natural impulses, natural propensities and inborn tendencies. Mechanical naturalism. Herbert Spencer is the main exponent of mechanical naturalism. He believed that the world is a huge complicated machine which gets its form through matter and motion. The mechanical philosophy aims at training man as a good machine and keeping it in good conditions. Similarly, matters keep on moving and changing, and this is governed by laws of physical sciences. Historical naturalism. This philosophy considers wealth is real and is an essential part of human survival. According to historical naturalism, human history is the history of man's struggle on earth. The main cause of problems in the world is accumulation of wealth. The historical naturalism led to the rise of the communist philosophy in the 20th century. Naturalism in education. Naturalism as a philosophy of education was developed in the 18th century. As a philosophy, it exercised a great influence on the theory and practice of education by determining the aims and objectives of education apart from explaining the methods of education and means and agencies of education through an explanation of human nature. In the 18th century, Rousseau stood against all traditional forms of education and advocated the basing of all education on education according to nature. The concept was based on the assumption that nature represents the allness of reality. Nature itself was a total system that contains and explains all existence, including human beings and human nature. Ever since then, so much stress has been given to studying nature of the child, and this has led to a veritable revolution in the field of education. Naturalism decries all external restraint in education and condemns all unnecessary formalities in education. It stresses the value of dynamic methods and seeks to base all education on psychology. Naturalistic system of education has no place for classrooms, textbooks, curriculum, timetable, formal lessons and examinations. The teachers also have no important role to play. It is the makeup of the learner that determines the character of the learning process, not the designs of teachers of the learner. The concept stands for complete freedom to be given to the child in learning. He is to be left absolutely free and undisturbed. He is to be thrown to the nature to become a learner, explorer and discoverer. Thus, the whole of child's learning will be the result of his own experience and their natural consequences. The only discipline applied to this philosophy is the discipline of natural consequences. Looking at the positive side, naturalism in education stands for the doctrine of follow nature in education. Characteristics of naturalistic education. For effective education, naturalism follows the follow nature concept. According to naturalism, nature is the best teacher for a child. Hence, education should be provided in a natural environment in order to develop the child according to his nature. Naturalists emphasize that real education should be according to nature of the child through the development of natural interests and activities. They oppose academic knowledge. Naturalistic education believes that education must conform to the natural processes of growth and mental development. According to mental and physical growth of the child, the curriculum should also be progressively developed. According to Rousseau, a child should be taught the principles of truth and virtue, but be guarded against vice and error. He regards the child as good but believes that it is the society that makes him bad. So he advocates that the first education that a child should be given should be purely negative. A negative education is one that protects the child from errors. According to Rousseau, a negative education is one that tends to perfect the organs that are the instruments of knowledge and the endeavors to prepare the way for reason by proper exercise of senses. Naturalist education provides full freedom to the child and it stresses on learning by self. Naturalism puts the child at the center of education process. According to them, education is meant for the child for his mental development and thus should be organized in such a way that he learns through his own activities. Naturalists neglect everything that is spiritual and feels that spiritual education is of no use to a child. For them, wealth alone is everything and feels that it is only through the acquisition of wealth that the child can experience pleasure and comforts. One of the notable principles of naturalism is scientific education. Naturalists consider scientific knowledge as real and hence give importance to science subjects only. Aims of education according to naturalism. The naturalistic hierarchy of educational objectives represents a complete reversal of traditional purposes of the school, chiefly perfecting of men's highest powers via study of literature, philosophy and classics. The following are some aims and objectives of education according to the philosophy of naturalism. Self-expression. Under the school of naturalism, the aim of education is self-expression and self-preservation. In order to live completely, as man has first of all to live, he has to continue his own existence. Hence, education according to Rousseau aims at acquainting a person with the laws of health and enabling him to earn to live and training him to preserve and maintain life. Protection of human machine. Naturalists regard the whole universe as a big machine, and consequently the aim of education should be to make the machine work with as much perfection and efficiency as possible. According to this view, all human activities originate on receiving some stimuli from the environment and hence are functioning in the form of conditioned reflex actions. The aim of education should therefore be to improvise the stimuli in such a way that desired activities proceed from them. Struggle for existence. The aim of naturalistic education is to equip the individual to struggle for existence and ensure his survival. Thus, education should help the child to adjust himself physically and mentally to the environment in which he is living. He should also be able to adjust to the different circumstances in life. Attainment of present and future happiness. According to the naturalist Herbert Spencer, preservation of the self is the main consideration and self-satisfaction constituting the highest goodness in human life. Hence, according to him, the aim of education should be at preparing and training man to secure present and future happiness. Adaptation to environment. According to the naturalist, the education should aim at enabling a child to live in harmony with his immediate surroundings. For this, the child should be taught the art of adjustment in life. Redirection and sublimation of human instincts. Man's instincts are the guiding force and the basis of all conduct. It is therefore the aim of education to redirect these instincts towards socially useful work. Improvement of racial gains. The other aim of education is to conserve and transmit the cultural heritage and its development. According to Bernard Shaw, racial experience should be transmitted along with the transmission of physical traits also. Autonomous development. Autonomous development should be the central aim of education according to T.P. Nunn. The aim of education according to this philosophy must be to ensure complete development of individuality without any interference to the society. Natural development. According to Rousseau, the natural development of the child should be one of the main aims of education. Education should develop a child in accordance with his inborn tendencies, interests and inclinations in a free environment. Thus, education should help in fighting all barriers and provide child with opportunity for his natural development. Education according to nature. According to Rousseau, education should aim at the development of a child in conformity with nature. According to Rabindranath Tagore, education should take place entirely according to the nature of the child. Naturalism and teacher. The teacher comes only next to the child in the educational process as per this philosophy. According to naturalist, nature is the only supreme teacher. So, the child can develop normally and naturally when he lives in the lap of nature. A teacher is merely an observer or spectator of the natural development of the child. The role of teacher is to facilitate the process of child growth as well as learning. The teacher must understand the child and in no way interfere with his development. He has to supply material, provide an ideal environment and create conditions conducive to the natural development of the child. Methods of teaching. Naturalist methods of teaching emerged out of revolt against traditional methods of teaching and bookish system of education. They follow different methods of teaching according to the interests, capacities and aptitudes of the child. Learning by doing. Naturalists believe that direct experience is the best way to learn things. They believe that a child can learn better by doing things. Naturalists advise the teachers to tell the child as little as possible and allow him to discover as much as possible. Direct method. Naturalists prefer this method in teaching of languages. Here, the chalk and talk procedure is followed. Heuristic method. This method is followed in teaching science and mathematics. The heuristic method is used to solve problems and involve the child in discoveries and inventions. Observation and excursion. History and geography are taught with practical exercises through actual excursion and observation. Play method. This method is regarded as the most natural and suitable method for creative education. Play is the natural activity of the child and the method depends on the nature of the child and provides the child with different experiences. Learning through senses. According to naturalists, senses should be trained and utilized to the fullest since they are the gateways of knowledge. Self-government, self-effort and co-education. The naturalists recommend open-air schools. According to them, self-government in schools will provide a direct experience of social life. Similarly, establishment of co-education will help in the development of right type of family and community life. Learning through participation. To develop a better human society, naturalists recommend this method of teaching. They believe that a child requires social learning to enable him to take part in social activities. Other methods. Naturalists also adapt Dalton plan, kindergarten, excursion method, Montessori method, experimentation method and textbook method, etc. Discipline in naturalism. Naturalism advocates full freedom to the child to perform and learn whatever he likes. Since freedom is the order of nature, natural development will take place only in an atmosphere of freedom. Naturalists believe that the child is essentially good and pure. They disapprove the practice of giving punishment to children. According to them, nature will punish the child if he contravenes the law of nature. Thus, he will learn by the natural consequences of his actions. According to naturalists, school should provide an environment which is conducive for the free development of the child. Naturalism and curriculum. Almost all naturalists have expressed their views about the curriculum or subjects to be taught. The naturalists do not advocate a fixed curriculum. They prefer a child-centered curriculum for the child to have maximum opportunity for natural development. They, in general, contend that the child's present experiences, interests and activities should determine the choice of studies. The naturalists conceive the curriculum under two stages, earlier stage and later stage. In the earlier stage, nothing is to be taught except what the child asks for. Play stories and songs should be the early lessons. Physical activities should be in the natural settings in the first stage. Sensory training is also considered necessary and should be made an integral part of the curriculum in the early stage. At the later stage, the naturalists emphasize a curriculum that includes scientific studies on a laboratory basis. So, the naturalists lay emphasis on science subjects such as physics, chemistry, arithmetic, biology, zoology and botany. In order to facilitate the understanding of other subjects, this philosophy encourages mathematics and languages to be included in the curriculum. They also believe that the child should not be plunged into poetry and literature. Moreover, naturalism gives a very insignificant place to spiritualism in the curriculum. At the same time, the curriculum of the naturalist thinkers do not encourage including music and painting in their curriculum. Subjects like history and social studies are given importance to understand the past experiences. Naturalists lay stress on inclusion of physical education, home science and health training in the curriculum. Let me summarize the session. Educational philosophy is the cornerstone of the foundation of education. It is the general branch of philosophy that answers educational questions of why to educate, whom to educate, who to educate, where to educate, what to educate, how to educate, when to educate and so on. Educational philosophy provides ample direction to education by assigning certain guidelines and gives support to the educator while he is engaged in formulating the subject contents for the members of the society. There are four main approaches to education. They are idealism, naturalism, pragmatism and realism. Of this, naturalism is the oldest philosophy in the Western world and is the materialistic philosophy which has been playing an important role in the field of education. Naturalism is a type of philosophy which takes nature as the whole of reality. According to naturalism, the material and the physical world is the only real world. The chapter discusses naturalism, its meaning and different forms. Naturalism as philosophy of education and its aims, the different characteristics of naturalist philosophy and its discipline are also further discussed in the chapter. Last but not the least, role of teacher and curriculum are also mentioned in the chapter. Now you can try to answer the questions. Mention a few characteristics of naturalist philosophy. Write an essay on the different forms of naturalism. What are the differences between scientific and atomic naturalism? What are the aims of education according to the naturalist philosophy? Write a short note on naturalism in education. What are the different teaching methods adopted by the naturalist philosophers? Now you can go through the reference books given here. Philosophy of Education, written by Chandra S.S. and Rajendra K.S. and published by Atlantic Publishers and Distributors, New Delhi in the year 2006. Foundations of Education, written by Dhimman O.P. and published by APH Publishing Corporation, New Delhi in 2008. Introduction to Philosophy of Education, written by Neller G.F. and published by John Wiley and Sons, New York in the year 1964. Philosophical and Sociological Principles of Education, written by Pathak P.K. and published by Dorling Kinsley India Private Limited, New Delhi in 2012. A Comprehensive Study of Education, written by Ravi S. and published by PHI Learning Private Limited, New Delhi in the year 2011. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Have a nice day.